Hello dear students, in this session let us learn the approximation of Lebesgue measurable subset with open, closed G delta and F delta set. The first theorem is actually the outer approximation of Lebesgue measurable set. So the statement is like this: let E be any set of real numbers, then each of the following statements are equivalent to measurability of E. The first statement is, for each epsilon greater than 0, there exists an open set O such that E is subset of O and outer measure of O minus E is less than epsilon. That means if you consider any epsilon greater than 0, if you choose this as your E and this is an open set O, then the outer measure of this portion will be less than epsilon. This is the first point you have to prove by considering E is a Lebesgue measurable set. Okay, I repeat, for any value of epsilon greater than 0, you can find open set O, and that open set O will be in the form of E is subset of O, and the outer measure of this portion will be less than epsilon. That is the first point. Okay. The second point is, there is a G delta set such that M star of G minus E will be equal to 0. That means if you consider this as your set G and this is as E, outer measure of G minus E will be equal to 0. This is the second thing you have to prove. So obviously equivalent to measurability of E means first you will consider E is a Lebesgue measurable set. By using that you will prove the point number 1, and in the next case you will consider this as a given data and you will prove the second part. Again, you will consider the second part as a given data and you will prove E is a Lebesgue measurable set. So let's move one by one. First, what we are doing, we are considering E as a Lebesgue measurable set. So if E is a Lebesgue measurable set means there will be two possibilities, that is outer measure of E will be greater than infinity or outer measure of E will be less than infinity, isn't it? Less than infinity means it takes finite values. Okay, so now let's consider this case first. If M star of E is finite means, using the definition of M star, that is outer Lebesgue measure, infimum of summation k is equal to 1 to infinity L of ik such that E is a subset of union k is equal to 1 to infinity ik, where all your ik's are open and bounded intervals. This is your definition of outer measure of E, isn't it? So now we have one term called infimum. So let us use the definition of infimum in order to prove this theorem further. So by definition of infimum, of course there exists, for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists one countable collection of your open and bounded set ik, where that ik varies from k is equal to 1 to infinity, such that outer measure of E plus epsilon, this part will be greater than, if you consider one of the interval, the length of the interval, if you consider one of the you will consider one of the open bounded set, you will take intervals and you will take the length of the intervals and summing up, right? So this will be less than outer measure of E plus epsilon. Why? Because outer measure of E will be all such open covers and infimum of all such open covers is M star of E. So if you add plus epsilon to that, obviously it will be greater than one such subcovers. Okay, so I will call this as equation number star, inequality star. Now this is our countable collection of open and bounded set. you can write this as O is equal to union of k is equal to 1 to infinity ik. O is open set. Why? Because ik is already open and bounded. Countable union of open set is always open set. We have proved that. So O is open set. Okay. Now, in the given part, they have given that E is subset of O. O is nothing but union of k is equal to 1 to infinity ik. That means E will be subset of union k is equal to 1 to infinity ik. That is nothing but E is subset of O. And here O is our open set. Okay. So now you can write this as, I have used this O is equal to union k is equal to 1 to infinity ik. Take outer measure of this. So you will get m star of O is equal to m star of union k is equal to 1 to infinity ik. Using countable subadditivity property, this whole term will be less than or equal to summation k is equal to 1 to infinity m star of ik. So now from this you can write m star of O will be less than or equal to summation k is equal to 1 to infinity m star of ik. Since ik is the interval, we know that outer measure of an interval is equal to length of an interval. So from that property, I can write m star of ik as L of ik. Okay. So now from star, from this inequality, you can write m star of O will be less than, compare this with this, you will get m star of E plus epsilon. Okay. So I am just shifting m star of E which is there in the right hand side to the left hand side. You will get m star of O minus m star of E which is less than epsilon. So by excision property, m star of O minus m star of E is nothing but m star of O minus E. So this will be less than epsilon. This is the case 1, that is when m star of E is finite. Now consider m star of E as infinite. That means this will be greater than infinity, or sorry, equal to infinity. Okay, this is the given thing is Lebesgue measurable set of infinite outer measure. So if this is infinite outer measure means you can define a set E as union k is equal to 1 to infinity ek. This will be disjoint and each ek has finite outer measure. I will explain how this is disjoint and ek has finite outer measure. So this is my domain real line R. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2. It will continue like this. Define this ek as, I will write it here, E intersection semi open closed interval like this. Okay. So now if you give value to n, E intersection 0 comma 1. So E intersection, I will just consider 0 comma 1 interval. This will be somewhere here. E intersection 0 comma 1. If you take 1 and 2, you will get this portion. Next, if you continue further, you will get this portion. So now this E will be your disjoint. You can observe that this is disjoint sets and each EKs are finite outer measure. This is not infinite, this is finite. Okay, that's why we have chosen E such that it is disjoint and finite outer measure. Now for each EK, of course there exists open set. I call that open set as OK, such that measure of OK minus EK will be less than epsilon by 2 power k. You can consider, choose any value here. I have chosen epsilon by 2 power k. Since OKs are my open set and EKs has finite outer measure, EK will be subset of OK for all k. So if EK is subset of OK, then union of EK is also subset of union OK. So my EK is contained in OK now. So if you consider union of EK, that will be also contained in union of OK. union of ek is nothing but E. So now union of OK I will call it as O. Okay. Now I want O minus E. Now let us see what is O minus E. O minus E will be, okay, this is O1, O2, O3, O4, like this it will go O1, O2, O3, O4. Since E is contained in O, here my E1 will be E1, E2, E3, E4, so on. So now O minus E will be this portion. Okay. This portion. So O3 minus E3 will be this portion. O4 minus E4 will be this portion. So you can write O minus E as O1 minus E1, O2 union O2 minus E2, union O3 minus E3, union O4 minus E4, so on. So in general you can write it as union K is equal to 1 to infinity OK minus EK. Okay. So if you take outer measure on both sides, you will get outer measure of O minus E is equal to outer measure of union K is equal to 1 to infinity OK minus EK. Again using countable subadditivity property, this will be less than or equal to this value. Since we know that outer measure of OK minus EK is less than epsilon by 2 power K, this whole term will be less than summation K is equal to 1 to infinity epsilon by 2K. If you expand the summation, you will get epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2 square plus so on. This will be equal to epsilon into 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 square plus so on. You will get a geometric progression. If you find out the sum to infinity term, you will get epsilon. So your outer measure of O minus E will be less than epsilon. That means you have proved, you have taken E is a Lebesgue measurable set and you have proved the first part. Now what you have to do, you have to consider this part and you should prove G delta set, that is M star of G minus E is equal to 0. In the second case, what you are doing, you are considering epsilon is greater than 0. That means I am choosing one value for epsilon, that is epsilon is equal to 1 by K. Since epsilon is greater than 0, choose 1 by K, where this K will be belongs to your natural number N. Okay. There exists an open set O such that E is subset of O and M star of O minus E is less than epsilon. This is your given data. I have just modified your data as there is an open set E subset of OK with outer measure of OK minus E will be less than epsilon. Epsilon is nothing but 1 over K. Since they have given G delta set, okay, G delta set is nothing but intersection of all open sets, countable intersection of all open set. So you can define G as union K is equal to 1 to infinity OK. We know that countable intersection of open set is G delta set. That means your G is now G delta set. Okay. Such that E is a subset of G. E is subset of OK for all K. That means E will be subset of G. Now what I should get is G minus E. I should get G minus E, right? Since G is subset of OK for all K, you can write G minus E is also subset of OK minus E. So now we know that A is subset of B implies M star of A is less than or equal to M star of B using monotonicity of M star. Using that, you can write M star of G minus E will be less than or equal to M star of OK minus E. So we know that this M star of OK minus E is already less than 1 by K. So you can write directly that M star of G minus E is less than 1 by K. Since k belongs to natural number n and this quantity is less than that number, and also outer measure will not be negative, this will be equal to 0. So now this one, using 1 you have proved that this 2 is valid. Now what you have to do, you have to consider this G delta set such that m star of G minus E is equal to 0 as data, and you have to prove E is Lebesgue measurable set. Let's prove that now. So what I have done is, I have considered E as G intersection G minus E whole complement. I will show that in a figure now. Using this Venn diagram, you can say that I can express E as G intersection G minus E whole complement. Now we know that G is nothing but G delta set, and G delta set is a measurable. We have proved that Lebesgue measurable set. G minus E complement, if you take outer measure, so outer measure of G minus E is 0. Okay, so set of outer measure, here set of outer measure is 0. That means we have already proved that every set of outer measure 0 is a Lebesgue measurable set. That means this set is Lebesgue measurable set, and its complement is also Lebesgue measurable set. That means E is Lebesgue measurable set. Now we have considered a second part and we have proved that E is a Lebesgue measurable set. This is a outer approximation theorem, and we have one more, that is inner approximation theorem. The statement is, let E be any set of real numbers, then each of the following statements are equivalent to measurability of E. First statement is, for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists closed set F belongs to E such that outer measure of E minus F is less than E. And one more is, there exists F delta set such that F is subset of E and outer measure of E minus F is 0. In the similar way, we have proved this theorem also. So we know this concept, right? If any set is a Lebesgue measurable set, means its complement is also Lebesgue measurable set. Now using the definition of closed set, for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists an open set O such that E complement is subset of O. This is using a previous theorem. You can write E complement is subset of O, and m star of O minus E complement is less than epsilon. This is using your outer approximation theorem. So we know that A is subset of B if and only if B complement is subset of A complement. That means if this is my set B and this is my set A, here A is contained in B, so B complement will be this and A complement will be this, isn't it? That means if A is subset of B, then B complement is contained in A complement. So using this, you can write E complement subset of O as O complement subset of E complement whole complement. So E complement whole complement is nothing but E. That means O complement will be subset of E. Okay. But what I want is E minus F. Okay. Now choose F as O complement. I am choosing O complement as F. So I have to find out what is E minus F. Correct? So let's find out using Venn diagram. So I want E minus F. F is nothing but O complement. That means E minus O complement is what I want, right? So I will consider this as E complement and this set as O. Okay. Now this portion will be my O minus E complement, isn't it? So what will be E? E will be this portions. This is my E. And what is your O complement? O complement will be these things. This is your O. What I want E minus O complement. E minus O complement is again this portion. This all are my O complements. From here will be my E, since this is E complement. So from Venn diagram you can say that O minus E complement will be equal to E minus O complement, that is nothing but E minus F. So look at here now. Outer measure of E minus F will be equal to outer measure of O minus E complement. We know that outer measure of O minus E complement is less than epsilon. That means outer measure of E minus F will be less than epsilon. This is the first part. Now what I have done is I have chosen the second part. Okay. I have taken a data as a statement 1 and I have proved that I will prove that the second part is true. So again this is the given data, that is epsilon. Since epsilon is greater than 0, I have chosen some value to my epsilon, that is 1 over k. There is a closed set. There exists, obviously you will get an closed set Fk, such Fk is subset of E with this outer measure. E minus Fk will be less than 1 over k. Since they have said there exists F delta set, sorry, F sigma set. From the definition of F sigma set, we know that what is F sigma set? It is a countable union of all closed set. So F is equal to union K is equal to 1 to infinity Fk. This is nothing but my F delta set. So this is F delta set, means F is a F delta set, such that since Fk is subset of E for all k, now F is subset of E. As we have done in the previous theorem, that is outer approximation, here also you will get outer measure of E minus F will be less than or equal to outer measure of E minus Fk, that will be less than 1 over k. Since k belongs to natural number and outer measure will not be equal to negative values, it will be equal to 0. This is the second part of the proof. Now what you have to do, you have to consider the second statement, and from that you have to prove E is a Lebesgue measurable set. Now you can write E as F union E minus F. You can try this in Venn diagram. So we know that F is a F delta set. F delta set is already Lebesgue measurable set. E minus F is also Lebesgue measurable set. That means in the previous part, that is from the given data, you can say that outer measure of E minus F is 0. What does it mean? It means set of outer measure is 0. So from that we have already proved that every set for which outer measure is 0 is a Lebesgue measurable set. That means this particular set is also Lebesgue measurable set. So since these two are Lebesgue measurable set, we know that union of two set is Lebesgue measurable set, means E is also Lebesgue measurable set.